making things look good, and that's happening down at Paterson Street in Mundijong, am I right?
Yes, that's right. I'm also a member of the Mundijong Community Association, and a few years ago, a long-term resident of Mundijong, Henry McKenna, aged 75, decided that he had really had enough of the way the main street of Mundijong was looking, and decided to apply for his first grant of $5,000 and got a whole lot of natives and started digging and putting them in.
Fantastic. And that, again, is a matter of just being involved in a positive sense to your neighbourhood, and regardless of age, it just takes enthusiasm. So well done, and now that's put the rest of the punters on notice that we're wanting to perhaps, because I think that dealt primarily with the old railway reserve, didn't it?
That's correct, and it's amazing to see how Henry's vision for a better Paterson Street has snowballed, and the Mundijong Community Association, and through my role with the Byford Districts Community Bank, we've actually managed to secure, with the Shire's help and support, over $160,000 worth of concrete pathways which sort of span 1 kilometre in the main street now.
Fantastic.
So that was rather huge, because prior to that it was just dirt and sand in the railway reserve, and the Public Transport Authority also assisted with that.
Yeah, I mean, whilst we all love our red dirt, the reality is we don't always want to take it home with us every day. If you can, and certainly from a progress perspective, Mundijong will be all the better for it.
Oh, definitely. We have had a little bit of antisocial behaviour in Paterson Street, which has been a little bit hard to deal with when proactive community members are applying for grants and funding to create a vision, and it's a little bit upsetting. We had some beautiful 5 fiberglass life-size cows come in from Adelaide, dairy cows, to put in the old cow yards, and unfortunately they were picked off one by one, and we ended up having the Carnet prison team rebuild them with the fiberglass. So we've got them set aside safely, waiting for a time when we can increase lighting to the area and put them back.
Yeah, it's a little bit frustrating when those who are a little, who show the selfish side of themselves without disregard for the rest of the community, you have such an impact, because, as is the case there, the effort that went into those original creations, a lot of time and effort and money's been spent on redoing, as you've outlined, Kim. But again, the spirit of the community at play.
Well, absolutely, and I think that just made the community more determined to push forward and make positive things happen and engage the space, and eventually that antisocial element don't want to be where everyone else is, and will hopefully move out.
And that's proof that you don't need operatic music to do that, or classical music, as I think was the case in and around the city at one stage. I think they're even trying at the train stations classical music to move them on. But anyway, it's a matter of pulling their head in and doing positive things. If they've got so much energy and enthusiasm, well, let's see that enthusiasm expressed in other meaningful ways. But we'll move on, as is history in itself doing, because 2015, as we'll all grow to understand, is very significant, because it is, of course, the centenary year of the birth in unfortunate circumstances, but of the Anzacs.
That's right, and a great opportunity has presented itself with lotteries, and through John Randall's office, his electorate able to apply for up to $100,000 from different community groups towards an Anzac centenary project. And so the Mundijong Community Association are about to put a presentation on to the Serpentine Jarrahdale Shire to get the new councillors on board for a really exciting Anzac centenary project in Paterson Street, Mundijong.
Which, again, there have been those, and certainly from a remembrance perspective, 2015 will be huge right across the country. But there's no better place for that in terms of recognition and upgrading of memorials, etc., to happen in the neighbourhood. Everything starts at home. So great to see that that's gaining momentum, Kim.
Well, it is actually very exciting, and we're looking at a veterans walk along Paterson Street on the new pathways, and lots of memorial plaques, upgrading the actual memorial itself, and a new Mundijong boardwalk as well. So lots of exciting dreams and visions, and we just really need, I guess, the local government to get behind it and support us and make it happen for the whole community, and it will also benefit school children with their education of an understanding of Anzac and the sacrifice of our veterans.
That's exactly right, and so many of the families historically part of the community back in nearly 100 years ago. The boys didn't think twice about putting the tools down and going off to those terrible battlefields and whatever, as they did so proudly. But it's great to see the community, and just on that point, like everything else, well, there are new councillors, there are other councillors who have been given that tick of approval to stay on council. That being the case, they're your representatives, and Kim, I'm sure you'd like everybody to get become a bit of a flea in the ear of their local councillor to make sure there is this support for this project.
Oh, definitely. And also the Mundijong Community Association been working with the Serpentine Jarrahdale Shire to get a new pavilion up there, a 10 by 15 metre pavilion, which is about to go up this month, I believe. And we've just had a new 51 metre rock wall adjacent to the old railway station built by the Carnet Prison Workforce, which is about to be planted out. So the streetscape is definitely improving it to the point that the Serpentine Jarrahdale Shire recently re-landscaped their front verge because I think they were seeing the difference that the community were making and wanted to also improve their space to make it all look really great.
Also subtle, very subtle. Kim Petersen, thank you for updating us, and again, I suppose that we'll have to skip a beat, but that we'll certainly keep our finger on the pulse in terms of what's happening in and around that part of our neighbourhood. Just a